Ladies and gentlemen, at ease, the way they say in the military, U.S. military, at ease. All right, karibuni, karibuni. This is Kenya Revolutionary for the second session. I don't know how long I'll be here. I have responsibilities, so I might just abruptly end my live because live session, not live. Please get that clear. Live session, that's what I mean, okay? Msinipeleke in a madhouse. But anyway, karibuni sana for this second session. Now, a quick disclaimer. If you're a Morara fan and you're a Morara fanatic, follower, whatever the case you want to call it, disciple, supporter, switch off this live. Well, you can watch it because I'll be as fair as possible. We'll go chambua, comb through layers of our friend Kebaso, Kebasbas, as I call him, Morara's Kebaso's enterprise. I've said numerous occasions that Morara actually started on a good foot, in a good campaign. DJ Moda, I see you. Karibu sana. Only course of the first session. I don't know where you are. Lakini karibu. Morara started well. Morara came out with his vampire diaries, exposing the ghosts projects by this administration. And it was interesting. And most people applauded it. We liked it. We liked the fact that, the government was being exposed. Okay. It made Ruto look bad. But at some point, something went wrong somewhere with our friend Morara. And people started raising questions. Now, to be fair to him, of late, after he kind of seemed to have lost his way, he's trying to gain the public trust by doing what he does best, which is, the vampire diaries and injecting, as his political party suggests, against Ruto. Modern nakuja. Yeah, so that's what we talk about. I know the topic today, the big news today is about the but the courts deciding not to halt the process, the Senate proceedings regarding Gachagua impeachment. Okay? I've said this and I've said it before that Morara is not going, regarding Gachagua, before I get to Morara. Morara is the main meal, okay? Morara is the main meal. We are coming to the main meal. Morara is the main meal today, for this session at least. But as of now, like I've just highlighting, there was reported press conference that was supposed to be held, but I guess that was a fake news. But anyway, we soldier on. Like I say, I was just highlighting our first session this morning was about regarding Gachagua's the petition that was put forth and the courts, which was trying to halt the whole process in the Senate, highlighting that the process was, they gave their reasons. So unconstitutional, the whole thing, the way the National Assembly went about the impeachment proceedings, so forth. But the court, and let me correct myself, because in my first live, I said the court gave out conservatory orders, which is not exactly correct. Justice Mwitu never gave a conservatory order. Okay, a conservative order would mean that the Senate proceedings will be put in a halt. Instead, he just let the Senate process, the debate in the Senate regarding the impeachment process go on. Okay, because legislative body is another arm of government, and the court cannot really, they can, but I think it was, like I said, it was prudent of Justice Mwita to let the process run its course at the legislative body. Then, if the matter comes to the judiciary, they will deal with it then, because at that point, they will have a full picture of what really transpired at the legislative body. So I think that's a fair judgment. I know some people are interpreting this news differently. Some people are saying, okay, you see, Gachagua does not have a chance. He's doomed. Story yake imeisha. In fact, some people are going as far as start talking about who should be nominated and if the IBC should be constituted so that we can have a nomination. You can have somebody. Sorry, we can have IBC check their credentials of the nominee. And there's this whole debate of whether IBC has a role to play if Ruto nominates a new deputy in the 14 days window that he has constitutionally. That's another case. We talked about that. I will leave it to that. The session was over. Then let's get to Morara. Morara, again, I'll give him his props for this unique way of exposing Ruto, okay? Now, let me put everything into proper context, okay? Because you have to contextualize what you're talking about in order for people to see a picture of who Morara is, and you make up your mind if this is somebody who you truly believe will win the election in 2027, okay? I want to start with an issue. Now, back. I want to take it. I'll take you back because you have to come turudi nyuma kidogo, tuende nyuma kidogo so we can land to where we are today, right? All right. DJ Morara is telling me that he's ready to apply for vice president after Gachie. Labani Misiani is saying we don't care who comes as a new DP. We are Baba's organic supporters. Okay, Baba's organic supporters. Coffee time. You always have to have coffee, okay? Karibuni. Like the video, tafadhali. Do not waste your time. If you're getting this recommendation in your YouTube channels, please subscribe, like, share, comment, and put your notification also. Every time I come in, you can always find me. All right, let's get to it. I want to touch on this IBC thing because I think this IBC thing will become an issue. Let's go back. Let me go back. I want to play something so that you guys can understand where we are as far as IBC is concerned. So, crap, did I bring my stuff? All right, I think I do. Sawa. All right, get ready. Like the video, share, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff as we get to it. All right, let's get to the IBC thing. How did we get here? As it stands right now, we have a bill that was passed, a law in place actually, which a bill at the time was called IBC Amendment Bill. It was amending the IBC law that we had before, which spelled out how the new commissioners whose term had expired, okay? They had term working at Chebukati and the gang, their term iliisha. And there was also the term, it was a time for the elimination of the boundaries. They were supposed to, figure out, renew boundaries. And remember, IBC is the body that does that, has been given this power to do so, okay? But that was not done on time rather. Instead, if you can remember, the Azimio side of, the Azimio coalition that is, they say that the president cannot follow the law as it was at the time to go ahead and appoint a selection panel who in turn were going to choose the new IBC commissioners, okay? The Azimio side say, no. The president cannot do so. We have to sit down and adopt what we wanted, what we agreed upon on that NADCO thing. Remember Kalonzo? Remember him? Remember Kalonzo? Kalonzo Musyoka? Kalonzo Musyoka and what's his face? Ichungwa was on the other side, okay? Where they started bombers with chariots, Aaron Chariot and all those clowns. Yes. So, as Mio said, the IBC, the president cannot choose the selection panel who are in turn supposed to choose the next IEBC commissioners, unless they consult the Azimio side. And they have to do so by adopting the NADCO report, which they sat down at the Bomas and came up with point-to-point stuff that they wanted, okay? And they even threatened to go back to the streets. Remember, before the NADCO report sitting, there was Maandamano, where 70-something people died in Kisumu, and I don't know how many people died in Nairobi. There was a bunch of people who died in those Maandamano that Raila Odinga was, remember, he was there along with Martha Karua, Maina Jenga, all these people who were causing chaos because they were claiming that, the judiciary has been bought, everything was not working at that time, according to them. And every time, not this, I'm coming to Morara, please, let me build my case. I'm coming to Morara. This is all tied in. So you have to listen to me and be patient so you can get it, or else you'll not get it. If you don't get it, sour. I'm building my case here, Your Honor. My members of the jury. Listen, so every time Azimio wants to operate outside the law, they usually go to the streets and cause havoc, cause chaos, to force the government of the day to come into some sort of an agreement, coalition, whether it's NADCO, BBI, handshake, whatever you want to call it, okay? Now, as you know, we went to NADCO. We had the NADCO. In fact, first of all, that name NADCO, because at first it was called bipartisan talks, okay? Then they later on, when people were complaining, and I made some videos saying that if it's a bipartisan talk, that means it does not involve all Kenyans, because this is a talk between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio. That does not constitute the 55 million Kenyans that exist today. This is a bunch of party members who sit down somewhere in an air-conditioned office somewhere in Bomas and decide this is the law they want to change. That is unconstitutional. Now, with that said, remember I told you, Azimio don't care. If they don't like the law, they go to the streets, they cause bloodshed, force the government of the day to have an agreement with them. Next thing you know, they're in government. That's exactly what happened. So, let me take you back. I'm coming to Morara. This is connected, but just wait. Wait, building my case, ladies and gentlemen. Building my case. Okay. Here it is. Let me play the video. Reconsti. Good. All right. So bear with me as I play you or show you what was actually happening. If I may. That's why I'm telling you, these people, all this, never, ever, ever believe politicians. These politicians are one of the same. All right. Let me take you back memory lane. This is what happens. We are coming to Morara. If you're waiting for Morara's story, we were coming to Morara. Morara is a small fish, but he is part of the game. You have to understand that, all right? All right, let's get to it. Let's see.
It's been a great show tonight. The award for the best.
Azimio la Umoja One Kenya leader Raila Odinga has vowed his coalition will not participate in the constitution of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission using the formula proposed by the Kenya Kwanza administration, claiming that is a plot to rig the 2027 elections. Odinga has reiterated his commitment to never recognize President William Ruto as the legitimate president of Kenya. NTV's political affairs reporter Vincent Odur tells us more.
Azimio political brigade led by Raila Odinga camped at Mlolongo after finishing their two-day parliamentary group meeting in Machakos County, which was aimed at quelling divisions among its party ranks and de-whipping Azimio rebel legislators.
Nairobi County.
Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka continued with their call of rejecting William Ruto's presidency and vowing this time round to salvage what they have termed as their stolen 2022 presidential victory.
Raila aliibiwa kura 2013 tukiwa na yeye, akaibiwa 2017, akaibiwa 2022. Safari hii ya 2022 anasema haitaenda. Wangapi anasema haitaenda? Wangapi anasema haitaenda?
Ruto mwenyewe anajua ati hakushinda, anajua kwa roho yake ati yeye kufanya nini. Kila Jumapili anaingia kanisa, maombi, 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 maombi. Ukiona mtu namna hiyo, anajua hakuna hitilafu.
This year, the process of appointing new commissioners to the IEBC will be a political battleground between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza ahead of the 2027 election. Kenya Kwanza has proposed amendments to the IEBC Act to alter the composition of the selection panel of new commissioners to the IEBC.
Hatuwezi kwenda uchaguzi wa 2027 na IEBC ambayo wanataka kuiunda saa hii ili kuimarisha wizi ambao uliletwa na kina Chebukati.
Azimio will not participate in a process that does not involve the people and whose result is predetermined. Nataka muwe na uniform. Sawa sawa? Sawa sawa? Muwe tayari kwa yale ambayo sisi tunataka ifanyike.
The Azimio parliamentary group has resolved to kick out any member who will engage in disloyalty or play the party with its political opponents. The leaders have vowed to escalate their defiance and push against President Ruto.
We will never lose the sight of a gazelle for a dashing squirrel.
Hii serikali ambaye imenyakua hii kiti ni serikali ambaye inawanyanyasa. Bei ya vitu imepanda.
The Azimio political brigade this Sunday is expected to head to Busia County before going to Kisii on.
So this is when they were complaining that Ruto should not go ahead and choose the selection panel until they have to have a say. Then they did have a say. And after that, something happened. Let's look at it. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm walking with you. Hold on, Morara. Let me make my case before I bring people in. So here we are.
Decision to order an immediate recruitment of new IEBC commissioners has exposed the constitutional vacuum that the talks between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza created in the name of a political truce. In her decision, High Court Judge Mugure Thande said political expediency should not override the constitution. Constitutional lawyers say the country faces a constitutional crisis at a time when IEBC should have been concluding the review of constituency boundaries, whose 12-year window lapses next month. Stephen Leto reports.
High Court Judge Mugure Thande directed that the commissioners, including their chair. The process was put on hold following the constitution of the bipartisan talks, where both Azimio and Kenya Kwanza to replace Austin and but they could please and the plane that comes out to on the right side
Sorry, guys. I am experiencing some attacks, but we shall soldier on. We are not letting up. I have to play this again. Hold on. Here it is.
Commissioners has exposed the constitutional vacuum that the talks between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza created in the name of a political truce. In her decision, High Court Judge Mugure Thande said political expediency should not override the constitution. Constitutional lawyers say the country faces a constitutional crisis at a time when IEBC should have been concluding the review of constituency boundaries, whose
High Court Judge Mugure Thande directed that the current IEBC selection panel moves with speed and immediately recruits new IEBC commissioners, including their chair. The process was put on hold following the constitution of the bipartisan talks, where both Azimio and Kenya Kwanza fronted talks teams seeking to find among to replace ousted and retired IEBC commissioners. But the High Court judge said, quote, "I reject the notion that the political question doctrine should override the very explicit constitutional provisions and that the prevailing circumstances should be allowed to infringe on the right in time. It violated the rights of constituents who were to hold by-elections. For instance, Banisa constituency. The MP died in March last year.
Already a constitutional crisis. IBC, as one of the independent institutions, has an ongoing mandate to mediate political processes. One of them is to conduct by-elections. Another one is to review boundaries. And these are ongoing processes. They're not linked to a general election. It was a mistake, actually, to disband IEBC without a plan for reconstituting a new one.
Political pundits argue that it was a bad idea to allow disbandment of the IEBC without a laid-down framework to have new commissioners in office.
Remember, there is a constituency that doesn't have an MP at the moment. I think it's called Banisa, somewhere in Mandera also. And the people of Banisa have a right to be represented in parliament continuously. They have not been represented for well over a year now. Nobody in this country has mandate to disinherit me from or to deny me the right to representation.
IEBC is required to have started the process.
The delimitation of boundaries, which is required under law to be done at least 10 years, but not later than 12 years. Now, 10 years came in the year 2022, but the law allowed us up to 12 years, which now expires in March of 2024. So in terms of the crisis that would then ensue, is that there would be a lacuna in law where delimitation has not been done, and their constituencies which may cease to exist.
Some constituencies had been ring-fenced for the period and were to cease existing after the boundaries review. On the 23rd of June, IEBC, in its boundaries review plan, increased the population quota to 164,015, having divided the population at the time 47.5 million with a stipulated 290 constituencies.
The constituencies were saved under the law were about 30 constituencies, including Odaya is one of them, I think Daragwa is one of them, and a number of other constituencies. It means then that we cannot plan for them. The government cannot allocate money to them. You cannot appropriate resources for CDF and other planning things in terms of infrastructure, roads, and other things. That is the immediate constitutional crisis that I foresee.
The National Dialogue Committee report had laid down a framework on the recruitment of the IEBC team, but the document is still gathering dust in Parliament. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.
Okay, so a judge already ruled this NADCO thing unconstitutional, and not anchored in any law. So you had the judge Magare Thunde, or something like that. A judge already said that this whole idea of NADCO being implemented, this IBC reconstitution of IBC by adoption of NADCO is unconstitutional and is not anchored in law. So basically, this whole IBC amendment bill as it is, as it stands right now, the new bill that has been made law successfully. Remember when Raila Odinga came and joined whatever in KICC to sign it? That whole process, it's illegal. But again, it's a law now. So it's a law that we all know what it says. Raila's people, Azimio has a say in the process of change, choosing a commissioner. And, they added the number of commission from 7 to 9 and all this nonsense and all these rules about mobile polling station, so forth, so forth. The whole process of making that law was illegal. Okay, let's think about that. So some people put in a petition to actually stop that process from going on because they were at the point where they started the process of choosing the selection panel. The selection panel are the ones who are going to choose the commissioners who are going to be vetted at the National Assembly or whatever the case is. Okay. So somebody there are a couple of people who put a petition to stop that process, citing the same thing I'm saying right now, because there's a judgment against the whole process. Remember, again, what's this judge name? What's the name of this judge? I'm forgetting. Morara Thunde. Morara Thunde declared this process to be illegal. It's not anchored in law. So as it stands right now, this NADCO influenced IBC amendment bill that is now law, the process in which it was made law, illegal. You understand? That's why when they started choosing the selection panel, some people put in a petition to make just that case, exactly what I'm saying, by citing Justice, again, her name is Morara Thunde, who already pronounced herself on the matter. Okay? That is why we have this delay of IBC commission. Now, some people like Kebaso and a lot of people who are ignorant of this fact are screaming, say, let's choose the commissioners. Let's get the commissioners. Let's constitute the IBC. Let's implement it. To coin an IBC mara moja, so that we can, tutoe our MPs and all that. It's not going to work in your favor, because the commissioners, if we let this happen, if the commissioners are picked through the selection panel that are about to be, that are heavily influenced by these two political coalitions, in fact, to be specific, UDA and Azimio and ODM, don't expect a fair process. That's number one. That's why a lot of people feel like doing anything, any electoral process that is going to be undertaken by the IEBC as it stands today, it's not going to be fair or transparent. And that is why majority, some clear thinking people are saying, waiting for 2027 for the elections to happen then is pure madness, because the game has been rigged. Even if we are to go to electing or trying to, remove a MP, for example, or a senator, it's going to be hard, because the people who are going to choose the referee to oversee this process of election or recalling an MP or a governor, I mean, you can see what happened was it Kericho today? Something. You saw the mess that's happening in Kericho. with the governor there who was they were trying to impeach. I mean, we saw with the Waiguru, we saw with that's governor of Embu. It's a whole mess. And you can't count on the current crop of these corrupt politicians that are at the legislative body to have a fair choice, lawful choice of vetting anyone that has been chosen as a selection panel. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you see they are so quick to remove Rigathi Gachagua. Not that I'm saying Rigathi Gachagua does not need to be impeached, but I'm just saying it's so clear it's a political process. They're witch hunting this man. But you see, Ruto will call them, make a phone call, call them at the State House, tell them, hey, this is how we vote. Raila will do the same, go to Mombasa and tell them, hey, vote this way, and they'll vote that way like cows. They even call themselves cows. I'm not calling them that. So you can't rely on these processes to bring you the desire, the will of the people. Now, with that said, I want to come to now Kebaso, because Kebaso is one of those few people, and he's a lawyer, by the way. I heard he's a lawyer, or he went to law school somewhere. He knows something about the law. Sorry, I have some noise in the background. Sorry, guys. I will try to wrap this up early, but there's so much I wanted to cover about Kebaso. Maybe I'll have a part 2. So let me stop there because I have to attend to something. But I'll be back later for the part 2. Please like, share, subscribe, and do all the good stuff. I'll come for the part 2 because I have to take care of something. But stay tuned as I stop right here, okay? I'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.